It is Ahsoka Tano Thursday evening. Welcome to Meditate Like a Jedi. And of course, Happy Halloween. This evening, let's play with the latest iteration of very easy meditation. And do remember, the moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist meditation, or Buddhist philosophy, simply type your question in the chat window. Oy vey. The first of four phases of mindful crease counting. Over the span of the next 12 inhalations, we could advance our right thumb in the following manner, beginning with our little finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We can multiply that by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of 12 inhalations. 5, 6, 7, 8 sets of 12 inhalations each for a total of 96. To keep track of this first collection of 96 inhalations, we could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right little finger upon the tip of our left little finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so could gently invite the real or imagined subtle energies to coalesce in the bladder region of our lower abdomen. What if enlightenment was nothing mystical or magical or elitist? What if enlightenment was simply mastering Gautama Buddha's Eightfold Path? Getting so good at it that we simply practice it spontaneously, habitually, easily, and effectively. Here's the wild thing. The seventh fold of the Eightfold Path is mindfulness. The eighth fold is meditation. These two spontaneously give rise to the remaining six folds, as you will see as this evening's live stream unfolds. Let us view mindfulness and meditation through the lens of neuroscience after approximately 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I've spent about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that you will not have to. Welcome, my friends, to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. Please chant with me. The nudity of the archetypical couple sporting in tantric union reminds us of the vulnerability so crucial to mindfulness. Sturgeon's Law reminds us that 90% of everything sucks. Since the onset of the Neolithic Revolution, the majority of humans are conditioned to be so rigid, fearful, superstitious, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel that they denigrate the minority who follow in Gautama's footsteps and strive to be flexible, loving, rational, laid back, egalitarian, lucid, cooperative, and kind. So this rigid and controlling majority of humans, when they try to teach others meditation, they implore their students to practice focus and analysis. Those tasks can only be completed by discrete neural pathways such as those found in our medial or our dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. The problem is that when we overuse our prefrontal cortex, it triggers our almond-shaped amygdala, which is the seat of anxiety and aggression, which are the opposite things we want for meditation. We don't want anxiety and aggression. We want peace and love, and yet we get the opposite. It's like Charlie Brown on Halloween, only getting rocks. Fortunately, neither the amygdala nor the prefrontal cortex constitute the entirety of our central nervous system. Consider mindfulness. Every time we inhale, whether we know it or not, we are wired to automatically access our sympathetic nervous system found in the middle third of our spinal cord. This bad boy has evolved to help us notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly, which I'm sure you'll agree is the opposite of concentration. But what are we supposed to notice? We have evolved to notice mind's antics of perception. You know, seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, smelling, and the like, including emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination. So these things aren't distractions. These things aren't hindrances. This is grist for the mill. Now, this is a whole bunch of things to do simultaneously. How do we do it easily? When we silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation, we induce our cerebral cortex to cooperate with our sympathetic nervous system. But what are we to do with all this stuff that we notice? The external, the internal, the physical, the mental, the pleasurable, the painful, the interesting, the boring, the glorious, and the grotesque. This brings us to meditation. You see, every time we exhale, whether we know it or not, we have evolved to effortlessly access our parasympathetic nervous system. Divided between the lower third and the upper third of our spinal cord, this parasympathetic nervous system has evolved to support both physical relaxation as well as mental release. To such a degree that we're able to let go of what we noticed during our previous inhalation, as if what we noticed was literally impermanent and figuratively as non-graspable as a vast empty void. What's a real-world example of a non-graspable vast empty void? How about the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although could be tantalizing to the eye, is non-graspable to the hand. And this is wild. You see, simply by performing the inhalation and exhalation of mindfulness and meditation, we become transformed by literal impermanence and figurative emptiness, the first fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. Now, is there a simple way to do all of that? Of course there is. When we silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation, we gently induce our cerebral cortex to cooperate with our parasympathetic nervous system. And now that you know the secrets of meditation, let us practice together as a team, my little ghouls and goblins.
tiny little dog, too.
Welcome to the second of 4 phases of mindful crease counting meditation. I should probably slap that word in there somewhere. How about here? Does that fit on the screen? Close enough for government work. Let's go over here and reduce that to 18 and see if that works. World's worst editor. Okay. Of course. Oh, word, you mischievous thing. All right, so take 2, second of 4 phases of mindful crease counting meditation. Over the span of 12 inhalations, we could advance our right thumb in the following manner, beginning with our left finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We can multiply this by 8 for a total of 96 inhalations by using our left hand. Not to count inhalations, but to count sets. 1 set of 12 inhalations. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sets of 12 inhalations each, for a total of 96. Now, to keep track of this, our second collection of 96 inhalations, we could rest the great knuckle, at the base of our right ring finger, upon the tip of our left ring finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to coalesce in the navel region of our mid-abdomen. Please chant with me. The translucence of the all-good Father and Mother depicted in paintings remind us of meditation's experience of impermanence and non-graspability. What is the essence of mindfulness? When we silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation, we can't help but notice mind's antics of perception, emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination, and in the manner that is vulnerable, passive, visceral, random, and fleeting. What are we to do with that which we notice? We meditate as we relax into our as we silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation, we can't help but so release that which we noticed during our previous inhalation, that it could feel literally impermanent and figuratively of non-graspable as a vast empty void, like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although is tantalizing to the eye, is non-graspable to the hand. Now, our second set of benefits of playing with mindfulness and meditation about once every 12 hours or so is that it calms the tyranny of our anxiety and aggression. And that's important because if they were unchecked, they would feed cruel intentions, cruel communication, cruel conduct, and the worst commerce, which is both competitive as well as cruel. So together as a team, let us practice mindfulness and meditation right now. And remember, the moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist meditation, or Buddhist philosophy, simply type your question in great detail in the chat window. I check for questions approximately every 8 to 15 minutes. As you breathe in, allow a vertical traction to pull your head away from your tush. As you exhale, allow that traction to relax. When we read the Shastra of Prahevajara, one of the great reformers of 6th century Buddhism, we read that emotion is just energy, that emotion is pleasurable or painful, interesting or boring, glorious or grotesque. It's energy. It's something to be noticed as we breathe in. It's something, and then it's something that we should relax into as we breathe out. By relaxing into it, we're neither shoving it away nor holding on to it. We are letting go of our resistance to it. Doing that makes it impossible for that emotion to control our choices or our utterances or our deeds, which is an irony most delicious. Come, let us pretend that the fundamental duality of Buddhism is pushing and pulling. Manifesting is not a meditation, for manifesting is actively trying to change our life, and meditation is just observing it and relaxing into it. However, what if observing our desires as they come up spontaneously of their own accord is the key to gently manifesting? And what if relaxing into all our aversions is the key to transcending them? We come to our third of four phases of mindful crease counting meditation. Over the span of 12 inhalations, we could advance our right thumb in the following way, beginning with our little finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We could multiply that by 8 for a total of 96. One set of 12 inhalations, 2, 3, 4 sets of 12 inhalations, 5, 6, 7, 8 sets of 12 inhalations for a total of 96. We could keep track of this third collection of 96 inhalations by resting the great knuckle at the base of our right middle finger upon the tip of our left middle finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so could gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to coalesce in the heart region of our chest. Please chant with me. The beauty of sky blue kuntu zongpo and cloud white kuntu zongmo yam yam reminds us of the highest love, spontaneous and uncontrived. By silently and mentally reciting the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation, the noticing that is known as mindfulness happens automatically. By silently and mentally reciting the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation, the release that is meditation is effortless. By playing with this mindfulness and meditation about once every 12 hours, give or take, we could stimulate our anterior cingulate gyrus, this thing that looks like a fuchsia letter C turned backwards. This thing, this anterior cingulate gyrus, functions as what's the word let's say? The hub of our mirror neurons, the seat of empathy, the root of love and compassion. This is very important. You see, when we rely on concentration and contemplation to contrive an analog of love, I'm reminded of a line, a David Bowie line. I try coming up with love, but it's so slashed and torn. The late Tukul Tundup taught that the highest love is the spontaneous and uncontrived byproduct of mindfulness and meditation, which is important because loving kindness comprises 50% of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. Thus, by training in mindfulness and meditation, we set ourselves up for the experience of effortless, kind intention, kind communication, kind conduct, and the commerce that is as kind as it is cooperative. Armed with this information, together as a team, let us notice and release in harmony with our inhalation and our exhalation. If you're going to sit upon the floor, I recommend sitting on a cushion, sitting your tush upon a cushion, and merely stacking your shins. This is called a quarter lotus. We turn out from the hips, not the knees. And now we come to the fourth and final phase of mindful crease counting meditation. Wrong button. Over the span of 12 inhalations, we could advance our right thumb in the following manner, beginning with our left little finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We can multiply that by 8 for a total of 96 using our left hand. Not count individual inhalations, but sets of 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, sets of 12, 5, 6, 7, 8, sets of 12. To keep track of this, our fourth collection of 96 inhalations, we can rest the great knuckle at the base of our right index finger, upon the tip of our left index finger, in our lap, palms up. Doing so, we can gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to coalesce at the crown region of our head. Oh, won't you please chant with me? The stability with which godless Manta Mandara sits, and the abandon with which cloud-white Samantha Mandri sports, reminds us of the effortless effort of centered spontaneity. When we silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation, vulnerable, passive, visceral, random, and fleeting awareness becomes possible. The awareness described sometimes as mindfulness. By silently and mentally reciting the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation, we are able to release our resistance to the presence or absence of that which we noticed during our previous inhalation. Such a thing is called meditation. A fringe benefit of playing with mindfulness and meditation at least once every 12 hours or so is that our choices, utterances, and deeds begin to flow with the effortless effort of love's centered spontaneity. No, not scattered spontaneity, but not like the scattered spontaneity we might experience after 4 or 5 shots of espresso, but the centered spontaneity that is the effortless byproduct of mindfulness and meditation. By the by, this centered spontaneity is the play of our Buddha nature. Now, Buddha nature is a charming Iron Age way of describing what fMRI studies have revealed. That the sympathetic nervous system is our seat of mindfulness. Our parasympathetic nervous system is our seat of meditation. And these two working together effortlessly support the workings of our anterior cingulate gyrus, the seat of empathy. This mindfulness, meditation, and empathy are the 3 points of the triangle that the ancients referred to as our Buddha nature. By setting aside our controlling tendencies and grooving with mindfulness and meditation, life transforms from an arduous slog to a beautiful dance. Let's meditate. Get my tuchus all comfy. Many years ago, maybe it's not many years ago, a few years ago, me and my partner watched the first season of The Marvelous Miss Maisel, which was a delight. There was a heartbreaking scene taking place on Friday night synagogue. And an older fellow was just in a tizzy over the fact that the rabbi had a cold. Some people delight in the disempowerment that comes from treating one's teachers as a surrogate parent. Please do not do that. That is not empowering. That does not help you. That is culty. Treat your teachers, your good teachers, the teachers whose advice benefits you, as a useful tool. The way you would treat, your favorite knife in the kitchen or your car. You don't worship your knife, it's a tool so you can make dinner. You don't worship your car, it's a tool so you can get to the grocery store. Similarly, if a teacher has proven himself or herself, if they've proven that their advice really benefits you, that's great. Don't worship the motherfucker. Just treat them as a useful tool. That way, you walk the tightrope between the two extremes of the disempowerment that comes from treating one's teacher as a mommy or a daddy, and the disempowerment that comes from reinventing the wheel all on your lonesome. May we joyfully relax into the perfect imperfections of our Buddha nature. If you feel that if you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 11 hours or so, I would very much like to return, lead tomorrow's early morning meditation class and group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.